I know you're excited. Lando's family's out there. That's his sister and mother standing out there. Looking back here. So that's his sister and mother. Right? Okay, hey, shh. Indoor voice. Shh. I know you're excited. At least you got family. Not all of us have family to be excited about. Okay? We need to find a home. Like your family over there. They have a home. We need a home. Okay. So I had this view about which I'm finding out and which I'm trying to report on, and I guess I'm not doing a good report because everybody's saying I'm a scammer or I'm looking for pity and I'm doing this. Yes, somebody put me in this position that I am currently in. I did everything right, and they decided to screw me and put me into this bottomless situation. Now, I've been coping with it with some help from friends, with the current landlord, with Tam and T and some other people, and they've been trying to help to get out of this situation. But here's one of the problems that I've been finding. A few problems. As somebody that's trying to rent and find a place, number one are the scammers. The scammers are tedious and targeting desperate people that are in need is pretty freaking low on the criminal totem pole. I'd say it's just a step above being a goof or a snitch or a skinner. You're out here stealing money from people that are desperate. But anyway, scammers are one thing that you have to deal with. And especially when you're a poor person, because they put ads that are in your price range that say, oh, that just breathe and promise you hope and everything that, okay, if I apply for this place, I'm going to get it. You know, it's in my price range. Everything's there and whatnot. Here's the other situation. Not only scammers, but you're dealing with a bunch of people that are have less morals kind of thing. And the worst part about renting is the politics and the corporations. Now, I have references. I have good credit. I have references that, state that I pay my rent 4 days before the first. I have never been evicted for not paying rent. I have never been evicted for refusing to pay rent. And I've never been evicted for late payments or any kind of thing with late payments or partying or any of that. I have never been evicted for any of those issues, like not paying rent, trashing my place, refusing to pay rent's late, or anything of that nature, or any criminal activity on my property. Even as a criminal, I never did criminal activity where I lived because I believed in the shit. You don't shit where you eat. So, I've applied for a lot of places, and a few of them have come through these corporation rentals like Wingspan, Boardwalk, Minto, I imagine too. And it occurred to me as I was getting denied, and I wasn't being denied because of my rental history. I wasn't being denied because I never paid rent. I was never being denied because of anything. The one thing I was being denied because I didn't make their estimated financial threshold that they think somebody should be at when they rent $1,095 one-bedroom apartment. I was denied by Wingspan because, quote unquote, I fall under their threshold of $2,700, which they estimate somebody needs to have in order to live in their place. Now, they estimated on somebody's regular, they get to go, they're grocery shopping every week. I don't get groceries every week. I buy them, I get them, and, I buy bulk. So they last me longer if I can. I go to the dollar store and buy my products, things there that I can substitute for instead of whatever. I go to the grocery store for certain things. I go to the dollar store for certain things. And I go to the other stores for certain things to get sales and whatnot. I can't afford to buy shoes every 2-3 months. I can't afford to go in for hairstyles every whatever. Everything that they estimate somebody should be at doesn't apply to me because I've been poor my whole life and I live comfortably, semi-comfortably. I survive. I don't bitch about not having things. I don't bitch about not having eaten a steak in 15 years. I don't bitch about not eating a roast. Well, sorry, I had a roast because Barb cooked the roast. But still, I don't bitch about that. I'm happy about my hamburger. I'm content with just eating my hamburger and what I can. And I'm happy. I don't live luxury, but yet I'm told that I have to be at $2,700 in order to reside at their place. And this is after they admitted that, yes, we know you have great credit, you have good credit, that your references have backed you up in saying that you never not paid rent and you've never not paid rent 4 days before the first. Your rental transaction, we know you've never been evicted for not paying rent, for being late with rent, or any of that situation, or refusing to pay rent. But we are going to deny you because we estimate that at $2,700 a person could live in our place. Even though you can cover rent, we can't accept you. And I've heard that so many times, and it started making me think that it's funny that in cities, these corporations can put, like levels in rentals. And then they turn around and say, look at all the homeless. And you got politicians, city politicians. For instance, here in Edmonton, all these politicians are saying, oh, we need to get affordable housing. Oh, we need to get affordable housing. No, you have to rein in the rental corporations, and have them stop discriminating and stop putting these estimates at what they think people should be making in order to rent their places. Yes, it is their property, but one thing they're doing is discriminating against everybody that's poor. Sound familiar? Like a certain government that wants to turn Alberta into Alabama North? Because they just started recently attacking disabled people. And when I started 6 years ago, when I was looking for a place, I had to deny people because at that time, AISH was a guaranteed rent. AISH, if somebody was on AISH, you knew they were getting paid rent. You knew they had the funds to pay rent. 6 years later, now I'm dealing with scammers all over on the rental ads, rental apps from Rent Faster, Rent CA, Facebook Marketplace is the worst. Even Kijiji has scammers on there. And then people have to deal with this set limitations. You have to make so much in order to live in our property. And yet there's so much homeless out there. How many other people out there like me have a perfect rental record, track record, never not paid rent, and yet we're looking at being homeless because of these conditions, these corporations like Wingspan, Boardwalk, Main Street, out in Ontario, Minto. These corporations, how many of these rental corporations own how many properties in each city? And they're putting restrictions on saying you have to make this much, which I find is discrimination. If somebody can pay your rent and has a track record of paying rent, what business is it a corporation to know how you spend your money? They ask for bank statements, bank records, pay stubs. But at what time, and I'm pretty sure that goes against Section 8 of the Canadian Human Rights, but yet politicians, such here as in Edmonton, that are trying to be elected to be city council are saying, oh, the city needs to build more affordable housing. No, the city needs to rein in the real estate corporations like Wingspan and Boardwalk and all these other corporations that sit there and say, you need to make this much before we can rent to you. That's how you'll take back homelessness. Rein in the rental corporations. We don't need affordable housing. We need rental corporations to stop ripping off tenants and stop ripping off the people. They rip the people off and then they give it to the politicians in forms of donations.